President Joe Biden and Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky signed a 10-year bilateral security agreement on Thursday aimed at bolstering Ukraine's defense against Russian invaders. The deal, signed on the sidelines of the G7 summit in Italy, aims to commit future U.S. administrations to support Ukraine, even if former President Donald Trump wins November's election, officials said.
Our goal is to strengthen Ukraine's credible defense and deterrence capabilities for the long term. A lasting peace for Ukraine must be underwritten by Ukraine's own ability to defend itself now and to deter future aggression anytime in the future. The United States is going to help ensure that Ukraine can do both.
This is an agreement on steps to guarantee sustainable peace, and therefore it benefits everyone in the world, because the Russian war against Ukraine is a real global threat.
The agreement indicates the U.S. will provide weapons and ammunition and intelligence sharing, and is meant to be a step toward Ukraine's eventual NATO membership. Zelensky has long sought this, but allies have stopped short of taking that step. Also Thursday, G7 leaders agreed in principle on plans to issue $50 billion of loans for Ukraine, backed by interest from Russian sovereign assets frozen after Moscow launched its invasion of its neighbor in 2022. This comes one day after the U.S. dramatically broadened sanctions on Russia, including by targeting China-based companies selling semiconductors to Moscow, as part of its effort to undercut the Russian military machine waging war on Ukraine. Trump has expressed skepticism of Ukraine's continued fight, saying at one point that he would end the conflict on his first day in office. He met with lawmakers in Washington Thursday who said he criticized a $60 billion aid package for Ukraine that recently passed with Republican support.
What we have seen over the last years and months is a dangerous nuclear rhetoric from the Russian side. We have seen that Russia has announced that they have deployed nuclear weapons to Belarus. And we have also seen some more exercises. NATO's nuclear deterrent is our ultimate security guarantee and our ultimate deterrence. And this is something which is developed over many years, the nuclear sharing arrangements, where the United States has nuclear weapons in Europe, but where allies are providing the planes, the storage, the command and control, the support to make this an effective and secure part of NATO's total deterrence and
Elon Musk
defense.
has won shareholder approval for his $56 billion pay package at Tesla. That's a record sum in US corporate history. The result of the shareholder vote was announced at the automaker's annual general meeting in Austin, Texas, though Musk had signaled his confidence hours earlier, posting on X that he was winning by a wide margin. The result does not mean he gets his money immediately, however. Musk still has to resolve a lawsuit over the pay package in a Delaware court. It was a judge there who first voided the payout, saying Tesla's board had been beholden to the billionaire. Boston College law professor Brian Quinn says there's still a long road ahead for Musk.
What he really should be saying is, I now have a piece of evidence that I can put before a judge to say that the judge should reinstate my stock option package. This vote is not binding on the court. The stock option package as it currently stands has been voided, and they'll be litigating in the Delaware courts for the next few months to see if that will stand as is.
Quinn says Tesla will have to show that it was not coerced or improperly influenced by Musk. Some also expect fresh lawsuits to be filed, potentially dragging out the dispute for months more. However, shareholders will hope the vote keeps Musk focused on Tesla. In January, he had threatened to build AI and robotics products at his other companies if he didn't get his way. On Thursday, shareholders also approved a plan to move Tesla's legal home from Delaware to Texas. And they re-elected 2 board members, Musk's brother Kimball and James Murdoch, son of media mogul Rupert Murdoch.
2 years after ending the constitutional right to abortion, The U.S. Supreme Court on Thursday rejected a bid by anti-abortion groups and doctors to restrict access to the abortion pill mifepristone. It hands a victory to President Joe Biden's administration in its efforts to preserve broad access to the drug, and it marked defeat for the plaintiffs, who argued that the Food and Drug Administration acted contrary to its mandate to ensure medications are safe when it eased the restrictions on the drug.
Obviously, we're disappointed.
Rachel Nesmith is an anti-abortion rights activist with Students for Life of America.
We know that chemical abortion pills are dangerous and that the FDA needs to put regulations back on them, that women are not safe with chemical abortion pills. So we'll be back with another case soon, I'm sure.
In a 9-0 decision authored by conservative Justice Brett Kavanaugh, the court ruled that the plaintiffs behind the lawsuit lacked the necessary legal standing to pursue the case, which required that they show they have been harmed in a way that can be traced to the FDA. Mifepristone was given approval by the FDA in 2000 and is used in more than 60% of U.S. abortions. A ruling in favor of the plaintiffs could have threatened the regulatory authority of the FDA over drug safety. The case represented another front in the intensifying battle over abortion rights in the United States. In 2022, the Supreme Court, which has a 6-3 conservative majority, overturned its 1973 Roe v. Wade precedent that had legalized abortion nationwide, prompting numerous states to enact Republican-backed measures banning or sharply restricting the procedure. Biden, seeking a second term in office in this year's election, is an outspoken advocate for abortion rights. He and his fellow Democrats have sought to make abortion rights a central theme against Republicans ahead of the election.
I just wanted to say that we have great unity, we have great common sense, a lot of very smart people in this room, and a lot of people that love our country. They love our country beyond just about all else. And the only thing that maybe supersedes it is their family and maybe their faith in certain instances, and that's very nice. But they want this country to be great again, and we're going to make it great again. And so I just want to thank the Republican Senate, and I want to thank also the House. We met, as you know, with the full House, Republican House today, and we had a tremendous meeting with them also, and there's great unity. Very similar, different topics actually, but not that different. And there's one thing in common. We want to make America great again. We want to make our country great again.
احنا إن 9 أشهر حتى لو كنا من مدينة رفح من 8 أشهر واحنا إن شهر ونص يعني نازحين بس مش قادرين. الله يعين أهل الشمال كمان نفس القصة، يعني الناس وضعها سيء، يعني كل يوم بقول لك بكره في مفاوضات بكره في مفاوضات. يا عمي طب حلونا يا عمي، أنا كل يوم باكل رمل، أنا نايم على الرمل، فهمت كيف؟ الناس بياكلوش، فيش حي بتفتح النفس في الحياة، يعني حرام، يعني العالم اللي برا تشوف حالنا وحال المسلمين، فهمت كيف؟ يعني كل يوم مفاوضات كل يوم مفاوضات. يا عم بتكذبوا عمي انتوا، يا عم حلونا يا عم، احنا تعبنا نفسيا يا عمي. بقول لك اطلع من المنطقة هذه إلا مدينة خانونس، ومن مدينة خانونس لرفح، يعني حسينا فيش حاجة زي اللعبة.
With her left leg amputated, Palestinian Shahid Al-Kotati uses a walker to get around.
God willing, by next year I can be rid of this. I want to depend on myself. I hope they'll attach the prosthetic limb so that I can let go of the walker and all these things and walk on my own again. God willing.
She's one of 500 wounded Palestinians transferred from Gaza to Qatar for treatment as part of an initiative launched by Qatar's Emir in December 2023. Her injuries were sustained when her home was bombed and she fell to the street from the second floor. She was then forced from Gaza City's Al-Shifa hospital when Israeli forces ordered its evacuation. With no ambulances, she travelled by wheelchair. She's now beginning her rehab at Doha's Hamad General Hospital.
The best thing here, they support me like psychology, that you should stand and walk, you are powerful, you are strong. This make me like more powerful, and they push me to improve myself and improve my situation.
She's one of many Palestinians who've lost a limb after Israeli airstrikes or shelling in Gaza. In January, the UN estimated that more than 1,000 children had lost legs since the war erupted. 27-year-old Wafa Abu Saman was 8 months pregnant when her house was struck. She lost multiple family members as well as 2 of her limbs.
We have not rested, that's for sure. There's no rest. I only have my daughters left and my brothers and sisters. That's it. My uncles were all martyred. My husband, my father-in-law. My brothers-in-law are detained. We have no one left. We don't have a home, nothing. We are sitting here, but our minds and hearts are in Gaza with them.
Prosthetics doctor Amir Ahmed Hawathda told Reuters seeing the victims breaks his heart.
Emotional is always there, and when you are seeing these victims and you are seeing a lot, as we saw today, a lot of women, children, this breaks our hearts, of course. But when you are trying to do whatever to let them enhance their life again and back again to their life and get ready from wheelchair and be dependent, you will be very happy. But it is a tragedy thing, we cannot deny it.
Fatima Brandao is searching for her chickens in a haze of smoke. The source? Fires tearing through the world's largest tropical wetland in central western Brazil faster than ever before. Brandao just turned 59. She's lived her whole life here and says she's never seen anything like it.
There never used to be smoke here. The sun shone clearly and the sky was always blue. Now the whole hill is on fire and smoke has clouded the entire area.
Experts say this year could overtake 2020 as the Pantanal wetlands' worst year for wildfires on record, after a shortfall of rain disrupted seasonal flooding. Scientists blame an amped-up El Niño weather pattern fueled by climate change. The worst of the usual dry season is still ahead. These wetlands are about 10 times the size of the Florida Everglades and home to animals like jaguars and anacondas.
I feel a lot of sadness, because if we are here, we are breathing, and we think that breathing is critical. Imagine what the animals in the field are experiencing.
The people who live in the Pantanal mostly farm, hunt, and fish, but they are increasingly turning to ecotourism to make a living. Brandao is retired. She says it's hard to do anything around the house.
The smell becomes very strong. You can clean the house in the morning. In the afternoon, you sweep it with a broom, throw water on everything again, even in the evening. But dust enters the house, covering everything.
Oh, right there, that's precision. That's precision. Right over here. Germany. As always.
On a switché les radios. Non, ça ne change pas l'indien.
On s'assoit. Écoute, c'est toujours un énorme plaisir. With France on all the big issues. Today we talked about Africa, about Ukraine, about
d'avoir à ces cérémonies canadiennes et internationales. Les discussions aujourd'hui qu'on a eues à la fois sur l'Afrique, sur
Normandy, where defense of democracy, not just 80 years ago, but today and every day is incredible. Et on a aussi parlé évidemment du Proche-Orient et tout le travail que nous devons faire là-bas aussi.
Exactement.
Retrocesso, é um projeto de lei inconstitucional, porque o aborto em caso de estupro é algo previsto na lei, né? Porque gerar uma vida em decorrência de um crime, de uma violência, é uma tortura. Então, o Congresso Nacional está fazendo um grande ato inconstitucional, extremamente violador.
Que não vamos aceitar um retrocesso, que não vamos aceitar que um governo conservador negocie políticas espúrias sobre a nossa vida. Seguiremos avançando até que o aborto legal seja um direito garantido no Brasil.